Hello, I'm Mayor Mark Smith. The presentation you're about to see is about the future of our community. It's about the future of Bayonne. It centers on the potential redevelopment of 55 acres of land located at the peninsula at Bayonne Harbor. In November of last year, the City of Bayonne hosted a seminar, and it attracted over 75 different entities from across this nation, interested in what we're interested in, the redevelopment, the rebirth of the City of Bayonne. You're going to see a crosscut of several of the presentations that we were able to view. This is an exciting time to be in Bayonne. I hope you enjoy what you're about to see because it's about our future together.
Thank you all for coming here today, and Mayor and other city representatives, we want to also thank you for this wonderful opportunity to allow us to present ourselves. I'd also like to recognize our associates that are here working with us, DMR, and also CBRE and advanced representatives. And I'd also like to introduce to you Holly Garcia, who is with DeBartolo Development, who is our partner in this venture. And I'm Peter Cocosiello, the President and CEO of Advanced Realty. So today, what we'd like to do is go over some of our experiences and capabilities, take a look at the vision of the project, take a look at the execution, and then arrive at conclusions about how we're viewing this, and also then open it up to the audience for some questions and answers. You know, one of the statements we had here initially was that, you know, I want to work for a company that contributes to and is part of the community. I want something not to invest in. I want something to believe in. And that's kind of our motto here because, you know, we believe in this project. We think that this is probably one of the most unique sites on the Gold Coast. We think that this site will allow the connection of the community that's currently existing, which has a long heritage, to the waterfront, and we believe that ultimately it creates a unification and benefit from a long-term tax ratables and also the live, work, and play environment that we see here on the waterfront. DeBartolo and Advance are working together in creating this vision. I think the uniqueness of our partnership is that they bring a lot of national breadth. They're a national company who has developed significant properties over the years, and you're going to see some of their work. And as we do this, we look at it together with experience, vision, teamwork, and execution. And that's really what it takes to make these projects happen.
Good morning. Just to share a little bit about myself, I'm the Vice President of DeBartolo. I've been with the company 9 years. So I joined the company after working in the field of engineering for 7 years. I'm actually a licensed professional engineer in the state of Florida, but my passion lies with development, and that was my reason for the change. I love the company. It's a family-owned company based on family principles and family values. We have a lot of great people that came from a variety of backgrounds, and we have fun developing projects for communities like yours. Just a little background on DeBartolo, the company itself. Our company was founded by Edward DeBartolo Sr. He is the pioneer of the shopping mall concept. He came to he was born in the United States to Italian immigrants. He started his career in the field of construction, working for his father, who did paving and also construction of warehouse buildings, grocery stores, things along those lines. He went to school at Notre Dame for civil engineering, and when he got out of school, he actually started his own company developing real estate and including shopping malls all over the United States. His son, Edward DeBartolo Jr., remains one of the largest shareholders in Simon Property Group. So at some point in time in the late 90s, Simon and DeBartolo joined together as a REIT and remained as the Simon DeBartolo Company. Afterwards, it all rolled into the Simon Property Group. So you may be familiar with that from malls that you shop at. Edward DeBartolo Jr. also has a legacy with the San Francisco 49ers. He was the owner of the team and won 5 Super Bowls. So needless to say, in our company, there's an ingrained concept of teamwork. Our president, Edward Coble, has been running the DeBartolo Development Group since 2003. Again, we're a family-owned company. You'll find us very approachable. We work with a lot of communities, and our group loves development. In addition to just the real estate development side, we work on multifamily, retail, hotels. We also acquire existing assets. We add value to them. We do asset management. So our group is broad in skill and works on a variety of projects.
You know, I was listening to Holly talk, and I thought a little bit of modesty, so I add some color to the story. But Ed DeBartolo Sr. was a mason contractor who decided that he had the first opportunity of building a grocery store. So it's a lot of, you know, I'm saying this because a lot of heritage and similarities to a town like Bayonne. So what happened is that he built the first one and then for someone, and then someone said, look, why don't you build, you know, and you can own these. So he built another supermarket, another. To really fast forward is that he built 110 malls. So think about 110 malls in America. He's the largest builder ever. He invented the concept. And from that point, you know, they ended up with 110 malls is over 100 million square feet of retail development. So they expanded, and as Holly mentioned, they you know, into owning the 49ers, they own the Pittsburgh Penguins, and so they have a lot of entertainment expertise as well. So I think when Advance looked at this, you know, to be able to partner with them, it was significant because it brought to us the broadness and the depth of a national experience and exposure with some local boots on the ground knowledge of how to get these things done. So we're working together on other projects, and it's exciting. But a little bit about Advance. So Advance is a company that was started 35 years ago by myself. So this makes our anniversary year. We are a vertically integrated company, which means that vertically integrated means that we acquire land, we take it through the development process, we do the leasing and management of it. So we're vertically integrated with all the disciplines. So over the years, we've been involved in I'm sure more than 10 million square feet of development acquisitions, you know, in the Northeast. So this is a little bit of background. You know, Ed Coble, as Holly had mentioned, is the CEO of DeBartolo, myself of Advance. But in this project, Holly is the contact person for DeBartolo, and Chris Bellapianta, who's sitting here, you know, for Advance. So one of the things that, you know, really stress out, you know, when you look at all these, and we've had a lot of experience in working in communities, it's all about the team approach. It's about how can we take 3 or 4 people together and make it a result that's like putting 10 people together. So that really creates some integration. So it's an individual commitment to a group effort that is what makes a team work, a company work, a society work, and a civilization work. So Vince Lombardi, and you know, part of this whole legacy, and if you see the cascading in DeBartolo's culture and advances, that we believe in this team effort and collaboration, you know, with all the disciplines that we're working together with. So when we look at this, we recognize very clearly, and I always said this, that, you know, I may own land, but the development rights are truly owned by the community, which means that I need to work integratedly with the community to create the project that makes the most sense and is embraced by everyone. So with that in mind, you know, if we look at it, you know, taking a look at the stakeholders, and if you take a look at what's happening here with Bayonne, you know, we see the opportunities of tourists, the workforce, and the residents in the area. And as you look at this, it's a collaborative effort between Advance and DeBartolo. It's the city of Bayonne, which is the administration, and how you view this project, and also long-term taking a look at how we incorporate the residents, because we believe that everyone here in this community needs to embrace this to allow us to be successful. What we've done here is that we started to incorporate some projects that we all have been involved in. And when you look at this, you know, it's kind of a unique environment to have companies that have over 100 years of experience. So when you have 100 years of experience, there's a lot of discussion, you know, as you look at going forward. But I think the biggest thing with all this is to recognize that, you know, egos need to be left out of the room. We're about, you know, trying to create a collaborative effort. So we look at it, we have local knowledge and national breadth that is deliverable. And that's key, that is deliverable. we have the experience, the capitalization, to make these things happen. So you have a wide range of experience. So when you look at, there are a couple of projects here when you can go through them in a book, whether it's Tarpon Springs, town center in Florida, Bradley Commons in Illinois, in Scottsdale, Arizona, it's the Sonoran Village. Windsor Heights is a shopping center we did in East Windsor. And this particular project might have some similarities, but we've been involved in Harrison, New Jersey. And, there was this project initially started about 10 years ago with Mayor McDonough, and unfortunately is passing, a couple of weeks ago. But, we were initially involved because they wanted to build the stadium and the soccer. And that took a long time to get done because, through the cycles here, how do you get it bonded? How do you get it funded? So we had this project and we did all the planning for it. And in fact, stadium is built. We put in all the infrastructure. We tore down, buildings that were 100 years old, and we remediated about $25 million worth of remediation. It's a significant project with a substantial amount of office space. There's over 1 million square feet there, hotels, multifamily, and retail. What's under construction today, there's approximately 400 units under construction. We're about ready to start another 300 units. We built the facility for Panasonic, which is their technology center. We just got approved with Marriott to build a hotel. So all this is happening here and moving forward. But the biggest thing, all the infrastructure and everything is completed from a development perspective, and all the planning.
I wanted to share with you this project, Kamakana Ali in Oahu. This project is actually over 1 million square feet of mixed use. It includes retail, hotel, and office. The project is a combination of our efforts and the community efforts. In Hawaii, the community is very involved. The natives stay very active in our project. And actually, interestingly enough, the name was come about by some involvement from the community, and it translates to royal gift. So that tells you a little bit about how involved we are with the people that are actually living where we develop. We want to make sure that what we leave behind is something that everyone there is proud of. This project will be one of the first shopping areas to be developed in Hawaii in over 30 years. It's a very large project, very exciting, and the first phase of the project will be breaking ground at the end of this year.
So this is a project that it's a community, and it's one of those that I remember one day the mayor had seen my name in the paper, and he called me and he said, "Look, I've seen some of the work you've done. Why don't you come into my community?" And this is in Bound Brook, and we need help. And this is on a landfill site. So we came in and we remediated the landfill site, and we built a shopping center which is 105,000 square feet, and we also have 380 apartments that we did in the back of this. So it's an example of being involved, integrated with the community. They needed a supermarket. They really wanted this to happen, and we were able to bring ShopRite here along with a lot of inline stores and also Burger King.
The next project we're going to share with you is Mills Park. This is in Orlando, Florida. This is a 13-acre mixed-use development. Also had some contamination on the site. A railroad track ran right through the site when we purchased it. We cleaned it up. We have developed some retail components of it already. Fresh Market is open. There's about 60,000 square feet of retail in the development. Most of it is complete or will be complete this summer. There are also 310 high-density apartments under construction that will start leasing in May of this year. In addition to that, we are building a community park, and we will have several freestanding retailers within the park for entertainment activities and other events.
You may recognize this project. This is in Trenton, and this is it's got 330,000 square feet of office space that's located on the river next to the Trenton Thunder baseball stadium. And what we did is we went through the redevelopment and constructed, repositioned, built a parking garage, and ultimately, got this project to be very successful with 100% leasing. Unique because there were a lot of road improvements that we had to be involved in. You can see how we built a parking garage, around, inside of Route 29 there, which was reconstructed. But it's a wonderful location, and it's, a beautiful park along the river. But we were also involved here, with Trenton and creating, the park, which walks a walkway along the river, and actually they have fishing and what have you there. So it was really, a collaborative effort with the community.
This project is a Starwood branded Aloft Hotel in Atlanta, Georgia. It's scheduled to open in the next couple weeks. It was an existing building, a 10-story hotel room that was being operated as a day's inn. The hotel has been closed. We have completely demolished the building down to the shell. It's a concrete building, and rebuilt it, new skin, new everything. We worked with the city to integrate it into the city plans, and it's a very exciting project. It will be a 250-room Starwood Aloft shortly.
This is a project which we're showing because it's got a lot of difficulty in making happen. Hoboken is not the easiest community to build in at times, and many of the sites are taken that were relatively clean, but this site here had environmental contamination. We were in what I'm demonstrating here is collaborative effort. We're involved and we with PSE&G to go in and clean this site. So we took that site, which is a 1-acre site, and we went completely down to bedrock, and we removed all the soil, built the foundations, and the foundations are about complete. And so this project at the end of the day will have 140 apartments. It'll have 22,000 square feet of retail, and it'll have about 370 parking spaces. So it's an infill site that takes a lot of collaborative effort, to be able to execute and deliver. When we look at the project here, we've done a lot of study, and I recognize on short-term notice here that there's still more study and things that we want to validate, and that really is going to come through a collaborative effort here with the community. So when we look at this as a vision for the Harbor Station South, is that we look at it as a live, work, play environment with the recreation side of it. So we're looking at this, that the village will offer connectivity and views of the water, which I think are spectacular. So every time we're down there walking, you say to yourself, you can just have the idea that this can be so special. Part of it is, look at the entertainment, the park and restaurant component to create visual interest and excitement from Route 440 and the areas across the Hudson River. We also look at it that the hotel component, that the cruise line there I think is key, allows for some tourists and really could offer an enhancement to them as well. So we're visualizing that you're going to have some walkability, the cruise terminal, and housing will include both waterfront lofts, urban luxury apartments, and townhouses. So this is just oversight of some projects that everybody's been involved with, and just giving you a visual highlight if you look at it from an architectural standpoint, and how you walkability, and you look at some of the retail components, restaurants. You look at the ability of integrating the retail along with the apartments, and here on the bottom you can see how you can integrate more of the apartments and residential uses.
As a starting point for this plan, we came up with a bubble concept to give you a feel for what our vision was as to where the uses would go on the site. The roads in dark gray are actually the roads that are basically in place right now. We took a little bit of liberty in adjusting the parcels, but there was some thought behind that and some reason. Up front in the red area is the retail area, so that would be your primary retail. Behind that, in the orange strip running through the middle of the site, is a mixed use of some smaller retail and multifamily. With that, on the waterfront, We believe that the best purpose for that would be mixed use, some maybe waterfront flats, waterfront living, and also small restaurants, dining, and entertainment, and small shops. What we'd like to see along the waterfront is more walking, more connectivity, more activity going on there to draw people in. Next to that mixed-use center, we designated a hotel parcel that's large enough for 1 or 2 hotels, perhaps some meeting space if necessary. And then in the back part of the parcel, we have more residential. Could be a mix of luxury multifamily, townhomes. We can lay out either. And then there's some green space in there for public use, just public parks. We focused on a grid plan like this so that if times change as we're developing this project, it's a very long project, we'd have the ability to change uses as warranted. If anything happens like what happened 4 years ago, we're adaptable. We're flexible to other design ideas. Just an overview of what uses we vision here. We noticed that there's limited national shopping in the trade area, which forces residents of the community to actually leave. So we want to keep the spending within the community, so we believe that we should offer a broader selection of retailers. Also restaurants, fast casual dining, nice sit-down restaurants, and some other grocery providers. Due to the limited time we had to present this, we have not actually reached out to these retailers or hotels, but we do see a need for multiple, and we do have relationships with a lot of the users that we feel would do well here. Also, with the expansion of the cruise terminal, we believe that hotels will do well in this area. Just to give you some vision, we've created a very short presentation of just some snapshots of what we feel might go well here, but we do think that this is very important to sit with the community and discuss it, because I'm sure there's some visions that we may or may not be aware of. I discussed retail. This is for the front 2 parcels that were in red. Department stores, electronics, clothing, shoes, fast casual dining, and freestanding restaurants. Along the water side, more of an entertainment area that's a destination for people to spend time, perhaps keep them there longer after they've been shopping, or if they're visiting the cruise terminal, something to do while they're waiting. To provide outdoor dining, entertainment. These are just, again, some pictures of something that we have, some ideas that we have of what would go well here. Grocery, I mentioned that we feel there's a need for another grocery provider. So we're looking at other grocery stores that will perhaps go in the front portion of the retail. And boutique hotel. For this, we picture either a limited or full service or one of each with a national brand. And this will help fulfill some of the needs for tourism and probably give some reasons for other people to visit the area. On the multifamily, these are some examples of multifamily. Interestingly enough, this picture over here is actually from a community that's very similar to what you're looking to develop here. Waterfront, cruises, all the same kind of environment. And it's actually a very urban project, but part of the development includes this park that runs right through the middle of it, so it connects the development from one end to the other. They stuck with the maritime theme. It's a very interesting park, fun to walk through. All the art has some relation to boats, water, waves. That's the wave. They also have a ship, you know, basically like a skeleton model of a ship, porthole, things like that. So given the amount of time we had, we thought we'd give you at least something to have an idea of what we're talking about when we give you the bubble plan. In the front red, that's retail parcels. Again, without the retailers, that will change, and you may have some ideas on it as well. Behind that is the town center area with mixed multifamily and retail. You've got the waterfront down here. Green space or entertainment space, the hotel site, and then more multifamily back here.
So when you look at this, we've, through our experience, have recognized that sometimes infrastructure, sometimes connectivity, and sometimes a combination of all those things help to make a project more successful. So we were looking at a couple different things that we'd like to, throw out and say, look, considerations for success. So one of these are, public creation of a riverfront walkway and a north-south promenade to connect the people with the cruise terminal and additional villages throughout the peninsula. ideas to try to make this as integrated as possible. Public extension of the covered walkway to the train station for walkable access to transportation for all future peninsula developments. So we're thinking about, everybody that's involved here, but I think long term, having that connectivity and some of the projects we're focused on, when we think about this new world of millennials and people that might be working in New York to have access to mass transit. It's not like when some of us were growing up that a car was very important to us. To them, they don't want to know anything about a car. They want mass transportation. So the connectivity of that would work. We also believe that when you look at a project, the more walkability you have, the safer it's perceived by everybody involved, and truly it is safer. So when we look at this, we look at lighting and walkway standards to show the entire peninsula as one community, because the more you have activity there, the more life it has, and the more life it has, the more sustainability it has on a long-term basis. And then we're looking at, working with the community, and we don't have the answer to this one, but there's some things in Bayonne that say this is Bayonne. So I don't know what they all are yet, and we need to collaborate on this, but when you look at this and then you try to incorporate some of them into city-designed areas for weekend events, food trucks, and that's becoming very popular, organic markets and music, that, you're offering something unique, it's changing, and it's almost, I don't want to call it like entertainment, but it's offering an amenity to the people that are in the area that really make a difference.
The other thing that came up in the RFP was the project schedule. So it's very early on, we haven't communicated, we haven't talked about a plan or determined what really you believe should go here and work through that process. But the great thing about the grid plan, or the concept that we came up with, is it's flexible to phasing. It can be partially developed, all developed at one time. Portions could be developed. It's great in that regards. Once we confirm with you the purchase price, we'll develop a final plan with a schedule that's included in it as far as phasing. And it will involve a lot of input from your group so that we make sure that we develop in an order that works with everybody.
Good morning. I'm Gil Medina, and I'm an Executive VP with CBRE. CBRE is the world's largest commercial real estate company with 42,000 employees and offices in pretty much every metropolitan center in the world. Those of you in this room who know me are aware that I have spent a significant amount of time in the public sector, including as a litigation attorney for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, as a city councilman for the city of Camden, New Jersey, and as New Jersey Secretary of Commerce under Christie Whitman. While with the state, I had oversight responsibility for the New Jersey Economic Development Authority and served as the chairman of the Urban Enterprise Zone Authority. The EDA obviously is going to have a major impact on the financial stack that will be required to make this project completely successful. I also, as a real estate broker, have had the chance to work with a number of public authorities. I served as the project leader for the redevelopment of the former 1,200-acre Fort Monmouth property. I also represented the Division of Youth and Family Services, and I represented the state of New Jersey in the disposition of assets that were not critical to the mission of the state. I also represented Bergen County and Jersey City and other public entities. I have been blessed to have been able to serve as an advisor to every New Jersey governor since Christie Whitman left office. I also have been working with a number of governors in other places. 2 weeks ago, I had the pleasure to spend some time with my friend and former mayor of Philadelphia, former governor of Pennsylvania, Ed Rendell. And I'm also providing advisory services to the Cuomo administration as well as to the governor of Puerto Rico. As New Jersey Secretary of Commerce, I was responsible for recommending to the governor of New Jersey and to the Department of Defense that the city of Bayonne serve as the local redevelopment body for the peninsula of Bayonne. And I'm truly gratified by Bayonne's effectiveness in this regard, particularly the seriousness with which Mayor Mark Smith is shepherding the peninsula's development to an optimal outcome. Because of my history with the peninsula, I am very pleased and gratified to have been asked by both the Bartolo Development and Advanced Realty to serve as an advisor on this project. I've known Peter Cocosiello for many, many years. As Secretary of Commerce, I worked with him on many important projects for the state of New Jersey that created employment opportunities for the citizens of New Jersey, and created tax ratables for the communities in the state. I also have been very fortunate to have had a relationship with DeBartolo Development that now spans over 7 years. This team is going to bring to Bayonne the legacy of two great organizations that together have more than 6 decades of nationwide real estate experience and significant on-the-ground New Jersey development expertise. Well, their shared vision, as they indicated, is for truly mixed-use development. They have stressed in their proposal, and I believe they have stressed clearly again today, their willingness to receive guidance from the people of Bayonne and their representatives. Ultimately, market conditions are the banks in which the river of development flows, but DeBartolo and Advance have always taken into account what is best for the communities they serve, and they will serve Bayonne very well. Thank you.
Thank you, Gil. So, in summary, in presenting our teams, I want to stress this over and over again, is that we're local with national reach. And I'll give you an example. Even when we were here looking at the site with Ed Copel, and he said, look, let's go up to Newport. Well, we went into Newport, and we found out that Simon owned Newport, so immediately we knew everything. We knew the demographic. We knew all the facts. So when you have this kind of depth plus the reach for national type tenants, for retail, you can really bring together some of the best type of minds and creativity in these projects. One of the things that I think is key to all this, and we've seen cycles of real estate, that I can't stress enough that capitalized developers are key, because they have the ability of getting the financing, they have the ability of bringing in equity partners as they see fit, but they have options, and you really need a track record in order to create those kinds of options. As Gil had mentioned, we have over 100 years of experience, so we didn't talk about all the projects we've done, but if you look at them, there's tens and tens of millions of square feet. So there's all that knowledge and experience that we want to bring to this project. We have the experience of projects similar sizes, complexity, and I think one of the key things that is really representative of DeBartolo and Advance is that sustainability. Because in this business, to survive for multiple decades, you have to be adaptable. Because one thing I know tomorrow's going to change from today. So I have to be adaptable in order to deliver the kind of product and to have the kind of reputation that we have with tenants and our stakeholders. And lastly, I can't say enough how excited we are, because we think this is an extremely unique site. We think it's got tremendous viability, live, work, and play environment, and we think that we can integrate all the disciplines and make this successful. So in closing, when you look at this, we took a Jack Welch line, says, good business leaders create a vision, articulate a vision, passionately own the vision, and relentlessly drive it to completion. Thank you.